The crying under the bridge. I've been a long-haul trucker for 12 years now. I've driven through everything. Snow, fire zones, dead towns, backwoods nowhere. But nothing ever stuck with me like what happened off I-27, out near Salt River. It was a late run, midnight territory. My cab lit only by the dashboard glow, engine humming smooth. I'd been driving for about 10 hours, and the fatigue was setting in heavy behind my eyes. That's when I saw the fog. Not your usual mist. It rolled over the road thick, like smoke from a fire that hadn't burned yet. I slowed down, leaned forward, flicked my high beams. Nothing helped. The fog swallowed everything ahead of me. Visibility dropped to maybe 10 feet, and every instinct told me to pull over. So I did. About a mile up the road, I saw a rest stop. One of those no-service pull-offs with a few benches, trash cans, and a concrete bridge going over a dry creek bed. It wasn't ideal, but I figured I could catch an hour of sleep. I parked, locked up, reclined my seat. The fog still pressed against the windshield like breath on glass. Then I heard it. Soft, faint, but it was there, crying. A girl, maybe late teens, sobbing just beneath the bridge. I sat up, listened. It wasn't hysterical. It was quiet, ragged, like someone trying not to be heard while falling apart. Now, here's the thing. I've seen enough horror movies. I know what happens when you investigate sounds in the dark. So I didn't. I locked the doors, flipped on my headlights, and turned the key. The second the engine rumbled back to life, the crying stopped. Dead silence. I threw it in drive and pulled out. Fast. Didn't care about the sleep. I just wanted to put miles between me and that place. The fog followed, and worse. After maybe 10 minutes of driving, I passed the same damn rest stop, same trash cans, same benches, same concrete bridge. I blinked, confused. Maybe I looped. I kept driving. Another 10 minutes, same rest stop, same fog, same bridge, and this time, the crying had started again. I'm not ashamed to say I panicked. I cranked the radio, loud, talked to myself, bit my tongue to stay alert. Then I made a hard turn onto a side road. Anything to break the loop. Gravel cracked under the wheels, trees lined the edges, no more fog. But when I checked the mirror, someone was sitting in the passenger seat. A girl, pale, hair wet, eyes hollow, just crying. I never stopped that truck. Not until sunrise lit the sky and the fog finally broke. When I dared to look again, she was gone. Just a faint smear of dampness on the passenger seat. I don't take that route anymore, and I never stop near Salt River. If you hear crying under a bridge out there, keep driving. Even if it means getting lost, because whatever she is, she wants you to find her. The thing in the tree. When I was 15, I lived on a cattle farm in Texas. Middle of nowhere, red dirt roads and sky that seemed too big for the ground it hung over. My grandfather ran the place. Old school kind of man. Calloused hands, straight back, never flinched at a storm or a coyote. One evening, right before sunset, he sent me out to find a missing heifer that had wandered off near a part of the land we didn't use much anymore. By the old sycamore, he said. You know the one. I did. Everyone in town knew that tree. They called it the widow's tree. Didn't ask why, didn't want to know. I saddled up my dirt bike and rode out across the field, dust trailing behind me in long amber streaks. The sun was bleeding into the horizon by the time I got there. Everything was dipped in gold, but the kind that made shadows look deeper, longer. The air had that thick, earthy smell, cut grass, sweat, and something else I couldn't place. Something sweet, but rotting. I killed the engine and got off. The tree stood about 40 feet tall, twisted, ancient, its thick limbs hanging low like it was bowing under the weight of something invisible. The missing cow was nearby, grazing in a patch of weeds. Didn't seem hurt. I walked toward it, eyes scanning the tree line, the barbed wire fence, the tall grass that rustled just a little too much. Then I heard it. Crack. A soft thud, like a branch falling. I looked up. Nothing. I turned to lead the cow away. Then another crack. Same spot. Then the breeze shifted. Not strong, just enough to move the leaves. And that's when I saw her, perched high on a thick branch, barefoot, toes gripping the bark like claws. She had long dark hair hanging like wet ropes around her face, glassy eyes, long arms, skin that looked like it had never seen sun, white and veiny like paper stretched too thin, and nails. God, her nails. Long, yellowed, sharp. She didn't move. She didn't blink. Just stood on that tree limb and stared down at me like I'd interrupted something I was never meant to see. I couldn't move. Time didn't slow down. It just stopped. My lungs forgot how to breathe. My hands started to sweat, fingers twitching. My feet, frozen, locked. I don't know how long I stood there. Could have been 3 seconds. Could have been 30. Then something deep inside me kicked in. That primal voice we never listen to until it screams. Run. I took 1 step backward, slow. Her head tilted, just slightly. That was enough. I turned and ran. Screamed. Heart hammering like a race car engine, my boots barely hitting the ground. I didn't look back. I didn't need to. I felt her eyes on me, like hooks dragging across my spine. I didn't stop until I saw the farmhouse porch light. My grandfather was outside, smoking, shotgun across his lap like always. When he saw me, his eyes narrowed. "You look like you've seen a ghost." "I think I did," I said, still gasping, still shaking. He laughed, brushed it off like a bug on his shoulder. "You boys got wild imaginations." But I'm 32 now. I've served in the military, seen wrecks on highways, watched friends die, and still, that night, that thing in the tree, her stare, it's the clearest memory I have. Because whatever I saw up there, it wasn't human.
Something is wrong with room 212. My name is Hannah Reed. I'm 27, originally from Ohio. Moved to Pennsylvania after my mom passed, mostly for a fresh start and to escape. I've been a registered nurse for a little over 6 months now. I work the night shift at North Valley Medical, a hospital nestled between endless stretches of pine and forgotten roads. I didn't plan on working nights. But rent is rent, and student loans don't care about your mental health. So here I am, graveyard hours, 5 nights a week, floating between wings and pretending I don't hear things when I walk alone. It's hard to describe the feeling of a hospital after midnight. The walls hum different. You start noticing how long the halls are, how quiet the machines get, how shadows settle in places that were fine in daylight. There's one wing I avoid when I can, the West Wing. Mostly long-term recovery, low traffic. It should be peaceful, but it never is, especially room 212. The nurses talk about it, in whispers, over break room coffee. How the call button will go off without a patient inside. How housekeeping avoids it. How someone once swore they saw a woman standing at the foot of the bed when no one was admitted. I used to laugh it off. Until last Tuesday night. It was just after 2:40 a.m. I was restocking gloves and wound kits outside room 212 when I thought I heard whispering. Faint. Strained, like someone trying not to cry out. I paused, listened. Then, nothing. I peeked in. The room was dark, empty. The bed was stripped bare. The air smelled stale, like old flowers and metal. Chalked it up to a tired brain and moved on. But at 3:17 a.m., the call light for 212 went off. I was standing by the charting station when I saw it blink red. I actually said out loud, "You've got to be kidding me." I called up to the desk. "Did someone get moved into 212? "Nope," the charge nurse replied. I stared down the hallway. It felt heavy, like something was waiting. I took a flashlight this time. Don't ask me why. The lights were fine, but it made me feel better. I reached the door. It was cracked open. The monitor in the corner, off, curtains drawn, sheets on the bed pulled tight. But the pillow, it had a head dent, like someone had just been lying there. And then I heard it. Soft breathing. From the bathroom. Not sick breathing. Not panicked. Just slow. Wrong. "Hello?" I asked. Nothing. I stepped back toward the hall. Then, heck. The bathroom door shifted open. Just an inch. And behind me, I swear I heard it. Hannah, right next to my ear. I didn't turn around. I dropped the flashlight. Ran. Didn't stop until I hit the elevators, heart punching my ribs like it was trying to escape. Security checked. Nothing. No cameras ever show anything in 212. Like the room doesn't exist to them. They always say the same thing. Must have been a glitch. But I know what I heard, what I felt. I've worked that hospital for months now, and I'll take vitals. I'll change bedpans. I'll walk down any hallway. But if 212 lights up, I'm not answering. Let it ring.